Сейчас, секундочку. Так.
Я зеркально так непривычно.
Сейчас, секундочку. Что у нас с Фейсбуком сбой?
Он подключает сразу.
Да, все, мы на месте.
Класс, класс.
So, hi to everyone. Today, as we promised, there is a guest, our guest Olga. She's psychologist, English-speaking psychologist today, and we met with her before. We discussed the other topic, and today we are going to discuss constructive conflict, how to have it and to make it fruitful for your relationships and do not destroy them. Olga, can you please tell from the very beginning more about yourself, about your work? And then we continue.
So as you told, thank you. I'm a psychologist. I'm a psychotherapist, and by education psychoanalyst. And as I study and gain new qualifications all the time. So and by the recent studies, I passed the course of neuropsychology, and I am a coach.
Mhm.
I really like to combine different methods and to combine them in the way that they can serve people's request in the best way.
Mhm. Wonderful. So, Olga, should I ask the question first of all about conflict, or you have some information to give in the beginning, and then we continue with questions?
I think we may follow the questions, and then I will give like my view more detailed.
Mhm. So, Olga, can you please tell me if there is a conflict, is it a sign of problems in a couple? Because
I
when
guess
people are just dating, everything is perfect, and later on, something starts to happen when people are dating, or they start to live together. They can have little conflicts.
first of all, we do not have to understand conflict as a scandal. And conflict is a natural thing, very useful, because that means that both partners are in the reality. So that means that they see and acknowledge the differences between them. And the rest part depends on what they do with these differences. So either they percept this differences aggressively, and then it comes to a fight, or they use something from it, collaborate, and they find um, motivation to solve these conflicts and to go together to build a relationship together. And conflicts, they can arise at different stages of relationships, but they will always arise. That's the natural part. If there is no conflicts, that means that someone is trying to manipulate and be manipulative, adaptive at first. So if it's too perfect and if there is nothing, then you meet the partner, then you say, oh, his or she is very perfect. And we match 100%. That means that something is really wrong because no one is perfect and no people match 100%.
Mhm.
That will be the problem. Or that means that one person just is adapting and stepping on her or his wealth, desires, and needs, and then it will be maybe there won't be a conflict, but they will break their relationships just at once. So the conflict is the way to prolong your relationship, but it depends on how you manage the conflict.
Hmm. But tell me, please, if you told about the person who is adapting all the time or manipulating, manipulator later, but I guess sooner or later he will stop to do it, and when it usually happens. So tell me, what time we should wait to see if there is a manipulator or really beautiful relationships.
Unfortunately, it can be a pretty long time. And sometimes this game stops when the other person becomes dependent for some reasons. Um, uh, a very spread story is when the woman becomes pregnant and temporarily dependent on the husband, and then the
Mhm.
husband feels the power, and from a very nice person, he one day he wakes up with a sign of tyrant, and then it grows worse and worse. But it can be other way, when when the girl, for example, is a gold digger, and she manipulates, she pretends to like everything,
Mhm.
and then when she stops pretending, you just guess something happens. But people, really, this game can last like up to 3 or 4 years. There are some signs if you are interested to stay in the reality and uh, do not alter it by your own will. You will feel the signs that something is wrong. Either your body will tell you, or you will start feeling maybe depressed for no reasons or irritated for no reasons. You will get some complicated emotions, which
Mhm.
will be difficult for you to explain. It's like, I don't know why, but I feel anxious, or I feel depressed, or I feel sad, but everything is so perfect. Why then I feel these feelings? And
Mhm.
that's the sign that other person might be pretending in that moment.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Olga. And it happens sometimes that there are two hot people in relationships, hot tempered, and like famous sayings about Italian family, Italian couple. Everything is so loud, so emotional, all the conflicts. So how to how what do you advise to make these people survive in such a couple and while conflicts?
It depends on the tradition, as you told. So if it's in Italy and it's norm for both of them, and that's how they communicate, and that's how they love. So it's their language of love. Then there is nothing wrong with it. If nobody suffers in this communication, then let it be. But if someone suffers and it's inappropriate for one party, one participant of the relationship, then it must be discussed. But here, what comes, okay, we must really understand that hot tempered and impulsive and uncontrolled behavior is not the same. So you might be very passionate, you may be very passionate, and then say normal things, but in a loud, passionate way, and it's okay. But if you are being destructive, you can be even violent or aggressive. So then it's aimed to stop relationship, right? Because this kind of aggression is aimed to destroy.
Mm-hmm.
And I do not believe that someone can't really control him or herself. Because if we imagine the situation when a very impulsive person comes to work and really depends on the salary, on this workplace, on the boss, and on the team, then and knows that may be fired because of the behavior, then the person at least tries to control his or her impulses. But somehow in the relationships, we want to be accepted as the whole as we are with all our demons, and it's like, if you love me you will accept it. But no, if there are two grown-ups in the relationship, so that means that they are equal. The demands, the needs, the desires of both are equally important, and the goal is to build good, constant relationship where everyone feels safely. Then it means that they must invest both together something, and no one. It's like unfair when one person tries and changes something and really works on him or herself, and the other person behaves as a child and says, "Okay, mommy, you will accept it if you love me." So that I think such story without psychotherapy it doesn't have really long-term success. So they can break.
You know, it's a sign for us too. Sometimes we have clients applying, and when we talk to them, they tell us, for example, we can give some recommendations how to find a partner in a quicker way, and they say, such clients say, they should accept me as I am. So I'm not gonna to do something about my pictures. I'm not going to do them better. When we explain that, for example, in your profile, it's better to be positive, to sound positive, not to tell that I have met many bad men and all are bad in Ukraine and so on. They say, no, I want to be myself, so he should accept me. And we know from the very beginning that most probably she won't meet anyone significant for her at the nearest time, with us at least. So this is what you told, how that people want to be accepted as they are, and they're not ready for any changes, even little changes in themselves.
So that means I would ask them, who are you looking for? Are you looking for a mother who will nurse you? Who will do anything for you? Like, what will be your investment in the relationship? What are you ready to do? Like to make other person happy as well, or like, or you are looking the relationship just for the other person to make you happy. That's the different. So if there are immature childish people who want just I don't know, to be
To use the other person to be,
for some other person to take care of them. What will you do? I should do something, really? No, am I supposed to? Yes, just like both are equal, and that's the bad news for them. So but sometimes, for example, I don't like makeup at all. But I do a bit for, for the videos, just a little bit, but I hate it. But I really care about my face, so I'm doing lots of work just because that's for me, for myself, not for other people to say, "Oh, what a beautiful girl," because I really enjoy it. But that's a job. To look good, that's a job. To feel good, that's a job. Once I made a post on Facebook that you'd better take care of yourself in advance before you met your partner, because how you feel, how you look, on these things depend how your love will go, and how much time will you spend together. So that, like, the time of your happiness on this planet depends on how ready are you. That's the point. And if they don't want to do anything for themselves, so maybe you don't deserve to have a partner.
Agree with you. Agree. Olga, can you give some pieces of advice how to make conflict constructive, how to make it effective for the couple? What are the rules of constructive conflict that would allow couple to grow, to develop their relationship, to make them better?
So the strategies can be different and at the different stages of the relationships, but I really like applying business models to the private relationships. So
Mm-hmm.
when two companies want to collaborate, they make a letter of intention. uh, so both of them know what they need,
Mm-hmm.
what they want, what are they ready to give. And if the first stage of negotiation is successful, so they come to an agreement and sign it.
Mm-hmm.
That's very important for the people who want to make a relationship. First, know your goals, your big points, your pains, your own pains, and your wishes, and your values. So if
Mm-hmm.
I really know what is unacceptable for me, then it can be discussed. Uh, the fortune telling and mind reading is a very bad idea when we build a relationship. It doesn't mean that you have to put it all on the partner on the first date, but this trial period,
Mm-hmm.
as it happens in the company, yeah, you take a new employee and he has got a trial period. People really give him time to adapt and to collaborate and to learn how to survive within this company. So
Mm-hmm.
the same is valid as for me for the relationships and agreement itself. So there are some rules and goals. Goal of relationship. What are we here together for? What do we want to do together, and
Mm-hmm.
for how long, and how do we see it? So the vision uh, should better also match, because if it doesn't, don't waste time. Go and look for the person with the same vision of the relationship. So it
Mm-hmm.
means if one person wants to have children and the other doesn't, so do not waste time
So,
of each
do
other.
you mean that before starting the relationships or before building a family, people should discuss important issues so that they would
Uh,
have less conflicts from the very beginning?
yeah, yes,
Do I understand
at
you
the first
correctly?
stages.
Uh-huh. And it seems to me that there are not so many people who are dating and starting to live together and who do this in a formal way. Yes, they rather discuss different situations and they compare their visions and they
But yeah,
hear what the
it
other
mustn't.
says about some situation and they make conclusions. Usually, they don't discuss things formally, don't write things down.
I do not mean writing it down both with signature, right? But there are marriage contracts, and it's a good idea, is for me. I mean that you must have your checklist. What is really important for you and what should be discussed. Like the girls can ask, help me with the baby when I become mother, right? So, like the things that can happen in common life, the spread of these obligations. So what will I do? What will you do? That should be that better be discussed. And the second time when so the conflicts arise when one person occasionally finds out that the other person didn't intend to do so and so, but he even didn't know that he would be supposed to do that. That
Mm-hmm.
was discussed. Okay, if it's impossible to discuss everything, so
Mm-hmm.
here usually when we come to this conflict, both get frustrated and it's like, what do you want from me? And usually become angry. It's very important in this part to remind yourself of the goals of the relationship again. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
here to love you. I'm here to be happy with you. That's why, yeah. And you could not know what I wanted because I forgot to tell you. It's like, by the way, by the way, I have got three more children. I'm joking already, but uh, and at this moment, what people usually do. Um, Nothing. So they prefer to fall into emotions and to make scandal. And usual story is to make this. They negotiate, they communicate anyway, but from the blaming position,
Mm-hmm.
blaming position and aggressive position. If you manage just to clarify what is really happening and say, my position is like this, your position is like this, that is very important for me. I know you love me. Let's find the way together how we can. How we can get this win-win position for both of us, because if the couple doesn't get this win-win position, so again the chances for they lived long and happily decrease at once.
Mm-hmm.
uh, Discussion, but to be able to discuss what's wrong, what you don't like, and what you would like to change, you really must be psychologically stable.
Mm-hmm.
That's the point. Because if you are frustrated, tired, in pain, got in trauma, you won't be able to discuss it properly. And then, unfortunately, it happens that these two people, they match together perfectly. They are meant for for each other, but they couldn't hold this communication between them successfully. And they fall apart. And that's
Mm-hmm.
very sad because they can stuck in these feelings for years. And yeah, I know
So
such
let's
stories.
summarize, Olga, now. So first of all, people on the stage of dating, they should discuss important issues for their future to see if they have the same vision, the same values, the same point of view on many questions. Correct?
Mhm.
And when they are being together and they have conflict, they should what? Just point by point.
uh, they should make review
Mm-hmm.
what has changed, like because when they enter the relationship, they can want different things, and with time it can change. So
Mm-hmm.
they must do some review. Where are we now? What are we up now to? And again, they must talk again to each other uh, with understanding that nothing that it's not like it was. And then again ask each person must ask him or herself if these relationships are still wanted. So
Mm-hmm.
it can happen that then it's not.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so this big review.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so we should can discuss the next question.
Yeah.
So, what do you advise for international couples, for international marriages? Because there are even more chances for appearing different conflicts because of a difference of mentality, difference of cultural background. So, can you advise about it? Because these couples sometimes they can have even more difficult situations than couples from the same country.
Uh, I advise getting prepared first. So because there are some different cultures which are in reality really close to each other by the customs and rules, and it's like the difference is not significant and almost nothing contradicts. But if these cultures are from different part of the world, and the religions are really different, so you must get prepared first. First of all, different partners must learn about the culture they want to build partnership with, right?
Mm-hmm.
Relationship with, and ask questions like because first of all, this person can be different to the common representatives of his or her nation. And if there is something that scares you and or makes you feel stressed about that culture, that rules, uh, the you may ask this person like, what's your attitude to these rules, what is really important for you. And because like, which is the biggest difference when we are talking about like Christian religion, for example, and Muslim religion. um, the rules are very very different, and that doesn't mean that like for example, the girl from the Christian family, yeah, won't accept Muslim religion and their rules. For some ladies it's very acceptable and they are really enjoying this life. So everything depends again on the person, like before the relationships. uh, and the biggest mistake is when without these discussions, when without being honest, uh, one partner or other decides that okay, he will fall in love with me or she will fall in love with me. Now I see that we don't match here, it's different, but I'll make him or her behave differently. So they count that the person will change.
Mm-hmm.
Mm, it doesn't happen, and then they divorce if it's possible. But there are really rules in some Muslim countries, and there is bad stress for example, for Ukrainian girls. Some of them, yeah, that if you leave a Muslim partner, children stay with him.
Mm-hmm.
That can happen in many countries. So.
Mm-hmm.
um, Sadly, but it can happen. You better really
I'm
get prepared.
sorry.
Yeah.
It just seems I have a bad internet connection now, and everything stays frozen many times during we talk, and I get lost sometimes. Okay, Olga. So maybe you can. We should finish soon, and maybe you can give mm, some important message to our guests, how to survive in a conflict, how to stay happy, and how to save relationships in a short way.
In a short, you believe in short way. Okay.
Maybe
There
just
is
make
just a way.
conclusion of this talk
Yeah, yeah,
somehow.
okay. There is just a way. First of all, I would recommend to remember that we all have our altered vision. So we are all not completely in the reality. So if we find something bad or wild or like something makes us unhappy, it doesn't mean that that is bad. So please do not criticize the person, do not criticize your partner. If you want to change something, criticize the behavior, and without bad words, not from position that was like that's bad, very bad, from position that when you make this and this, I feel this way, and or it's really bad for me, could you please change it?
Mhm,
And do not forget about collaboration, do not forget about partnership, because if you make decisions for the other person, and you don't ask what he or she really wanted or needed, there is no win-win.
mhm,
And remember about your goals of the relationship.
mhm,
And how what you do and how you communicate really respond to these goals.
mhm, mhm. Thank you, Olga, and thank you for taking part in this live stream. Later on, more guests will see it. And dear subscribers, can leave your comments, questions if you have. And today we finish. Thank you,
Thank you
Olga.
for invitation. Thank you.